Hey y'all, I'm Elisa Dome with Loren's Crochet, and today I'm going to be talking about my weekly makes, what I've made this week, what I've been up to. I just got out of the shower, y'all, so ignore my wet hair. I like to let my hair dry naturally. I rarely dry my hair with a blow dryer, so I just brush through it and I'll just let it naturally dry. It's morning time for me. Well, it's actually lunchtime. I got up this morning and did a little bit of Bible study and prayer time with the Lord, and then I just started crocheting because I was working on a pattern test yesterday and I didn't finish it, so I needed to be finished today. Of course, my dogs are wanting to play because they know I'm on a video. It's every time. It's playtime for them because Mama's up in the living room doing something, and so they think it's playtime. And so let me show y'all what I've been working on. I'm gonna show y'all some stuff that I've done this week. I've got me a little list of the things that I needed to get done. I've been trying to keep up with my to-do list here. I don't know if y'all can see that. I got a lot of stuff wrote down. But anyway, I am still working on getting ready for both of the cows that I am helping design in, participating in. And so my one pattern that I thought I was going to have to keep secret, they voted and they decided that we're not going to keep it secret any longer, in hopes that we will get more followers. And so it's called the Market Prep Cow, and it is being hosted by Cheryl with Papers_2 and by Delon with Loren.crochets, and it's called the Market Prep Cow. And what it is, it's a cow or crochet along, for us to put out some easy market-friendly makes that can be made within an hour or under an hour, hopefully under an hour. And so my pattern that I come out with is the Market Pup, and it was in testing the beginning of the month of May, and then it was supposed to have been done with by the 16th. Well, I still had a few people that, they were busy with other tests, and so I extended it, and I'm just waiting on one other person to turn their pictures into me. But I think my first part of the pattern actually won't go out until September, and so I've still got a good bit of time. But the thing about it is I have other patterns that I am working on myself, trying to get testers for, trying to get those released. And then the very first crochet along that I was in, the one that's actually before the Market Prep Cow, is the Retro Summer. Y'all know I'm doing the 50 Sock Hop Bear, and it is actually in testing now. I have several testers working on it. I think I had like 9 or 10 people that applied, and I went ahead and just chose everybody. And then I think one person dropped out because they said they just could not commit due to other things they had going on, which is fine. But I've had 3 people to complete that test, and so I'm just waiting on the other 6, which they've got a long time. I think they've got until like the end of the month, and we will have to be turning in, because it starts June the 21st. That's when we start rolling out patterns for people. But if you've not already signed up to do the Retro Summer Cow or the Market Prep Cow, you have plenty of time still. You can, look on Instagram under the Retro Summer. You have to follow all the designers. Follow the Retro Summer page. Same thing with the Market Prep Cow. Follow the Market Prep Cow page. Follow all the designers. And then once that it's closed, then you can't join. Can't no longer join. So be sure to join both of those cows before they close. Like I said, you still have plenty of time. Some of the things that I've been working on, I am in a permanent tester group for Delon with Loren.crochets. And of course, on recent videos, y'all have seen some of the things that I have made. I think I showed y'all the beachcomber birds that I was working on. I showed y'all the little rocket pop bag, and then the one that I wasn't allowed to talk about was the pun pal. That was the one that I was keeping secret for her, and I actually do not have those with me because the ones I made, I went ahead and took them to the coffee shop. And then Delon has the Finlee and the Fletcher bear. She has the original, and then she has the casual. So the original bear, I'll show y'all in just a minute. This is Fletcher bear that I'm working on here, and it has a shirt on it, to me like a little t-shirt, or I wouldn't think that it would be like a sweater because it's not all the way out to the end of the arms. But anyway, I still have to add the muzzle, I have to add the eyes before I close it up, and then I have to work on the ears. So that's what I'm fixing to start working on, is to finish this Fletcher bear. I decided to do it in the burnout frosting, and this is lavender or violet. I think it's burnout lavender if I'm not mistaken. But I just decided to make this one real, colorful. And eventually I want to make a Pooh Bear version out of this, but I am out of my red. I ran out of red yarn and I have to get more. I have just a little bit of yellow, and so I need to get more yellow because I've used up just about the whole entire skein of that yellow, and so I'm needing more of it. The other thing that I've been working on for Delon is some mini bees, and I don't have those completed yet, so I can't show y'all those. And then for Cheryl with Papers_2, I showed y'all last week the warthog, and this week I have been working on Astro the Gnome, and it's supposed to be looking like a Astro pop. I don't know if y'all remember the old Astro pops, but I believe her Astro the Gnome is part of the retro summer. And then some more of the others that I've been working on that I've done is Frankie the baby bear, and I don't have that because it's at the coffee shop. Of course, y'all seen last week I did the cow Scotch tree kangaroo that was part of a Vanishing Wildlife cow, so y'all seen that last week. And then y'all seen the sleeping baby testing call that I applied for, that I got into, that I done. So this week I have been working on, I did a mermaid, flower mermaid, and then I also did a little miniature or mini mouse pattern. And the mini mouse pattern is for the market prep cow as well. And then I have two other patterns that I have to work on this week. I have a standing pig pattern and a cat, and both of those are part of the market prep cows that I have to test. And so I've been a pretty busy lady. Let me show y'all. Okay, so here is my wall of makes over there that I'm going to be talking about. I'm going to talk about them individually one by one, but I just wanted to show y'all that. And then also let me show y'all something else that I finished this week. Okay, so I have been working on this too for a little while now, trying to get the ends woven in, and so I finally got it completely completed and the ends woven in on this flag here, so I could put it on my dresser here in my dining room as part of my Memorial Day decorations here. So let me see if I can back the camera out so y'all can see that. So, and then this is just a little bit of the decorations that I put out on my table for Memorial Day. And then I put a whole bunch of flags outside my house for Memorial Day. We like to celebrate Memorial Day big around here because we have a lot of family members that died during the war. I've had just several family members that I never even met that served in the military, and I never got to meet them because they passed away while they were serving. So around here we do like to celebrate Memorial Day as a time of remembering those family members. We thank all the service members. We thank all of the vets, everybody that has served this country in some way, somehow, you know, no matter what branch of the military they served in. We're very thankful for your service. I just want to give a shout out to all of the military men and women who, the ones that gave their lives to serve for this country, the ones that are still giving their lives, and the vets. Also, I know it's not Veterans Day, but it's Memorial Day, so we remember those who never made it home. Like I said, I have several members in my family that died while serving, and I'm very honored and appreciative of them. Okay, back to showing y'all my other makes. All right, y'all. So the first one that I want to talk about, we'll talk about Astro the Gnome. Astro the Gnome. He is meant to look like an Astro Pop. Like I said, he is part of the Retro Summer Crochet Along or Cow. This pattern was designed by Cheryl with papers_2, and I had the privilege of testing this gnome for her. Still need to go back and just kind of tack this ear up here, and so I'll go ahead and do that today, get it tacked up, getting it looking a little bit better. One of our testers, and I thought it was really, really neat. I didn't even really think about it until she done it and showed some of her pictures. She did the beard out of some fuzzy yarn, and I wished I had thought to do that, because I thought, after I seen the pictures, I thought, oh my gosh, that would have been so cute to use fuzzy yarn on his beard. I didn't think about doing that, so this was my gnome here. The only thing that I wish that she would have done different is I wish she would have gave him pants. It just looks like he has on a bodysuit. Now in the pattern, his body, the way she did him was white, and she said the reason she did that is because she wanted this to look like the stick of the Astro Pop, and I can understand that. I mean, it almost does look like a stick that you hold from the back. In a way, he kind of looks like a pot. Now, she does give an option where you can fill him with the poly pellets or the poly beads. I did not do that. I have never worked with poly pellets or poly beads before. I have never used them or bought them or anything. So, I did stuff him pretty good. So, he is a little top heavy because his head is a bit bigger than the bottom part of his body. But I did stuff him really good, so he does sit fairly well. I made sure to make sure that I got the bottom part really, really flat. And like I said, he kind of looks like a potted plant, or that's what it reminds me of in a way. The colors does look like the Astro Pop. I'll put a picture up here of what the Astro Pops used to look like in case y'all don't know. This was some of the candy that we enjoyed when we were younger. Well, I say we. When I say we, I'm talking about my generation. That my generation, maybe it's your generation too if you're around my age. I'm giving my age away, aren't I? But anyway, I used to love those. They're like popsicles. It was a candy that you could enjoy for days and days at a time. You would get tired of sucking on it. You could, you know, cover it back up if you kept your wrapper, and you could put it up. And so I enjoyed when we did have a chance of getting the Astro Pop. We didn't too much get a lot of hard candies like that. My parents would always say that's bad for your teeth. I never really, you know, let my kids eat a whole lot of hard candy either for that same reason, just because the simple fact that my parents always taught me that hard candy is really bad for your teeth. So, but anyway, that's what this is supposed to represent, is the Astro Pop candy. Like I said, he's part of the Retro Summer. Cheryl, she does fabulous work on her patterns. She comes up with some of the most unique patterns and designs. My hat goes off to her, because this gnome is the cutest thing ever, y'all. I love gnomes. I have gnomes all in my garden. I was showing them pictures of some of my garden. of some of my gnomes, and I'll try to share. Well, I tell you what, I'll probably share them at the end of this video, just different different pictures of my garden and my gnomes and stuff. I'm still working in my garden, trying to get it, you know, real pretty for spring and summer. Every year I, you know, try to get it looking nice and pretty. I love flowers, and I love garden decorations of all sorts. So, but Cheryl, if you're watching this, you outdid yourself. He is the cutest thing. I absolutely love him. I absolutely love him. I was telling my husband before I even got him made, I said, he actually kind of looks like a Mexican with a sombrero. Oh, I just love this gnome. He is just the cutest little thing. Okay, next thing I worked on was this cutest little flower mermaid. And I hope I'm saying that right. So this is the Flower Power Mermaid by Jenn with crochet mousse. And y'all, she turned out so stinking cute and adorable. Oh my gosh, I just can't get over how cute she is. And it's been a while since I've made a mermaid. I used to make these all the time. I actually had a couple of custom orders for a couple of mermaids that I did. And I never wrote the pattern down. I actually did the pattern myself, and I just never wrote the pattern down. That was back when I was making things just right out of my head, and I never even thought to write down the pattern. But anyway, I was working, this is Burnett blanket yarn here in this like aqua teal color. I don't really remember the name of it, but I actually ran out of this, and so I decided to use this bubblegum pink. It's the Premier Basics Chenille Brights. I decided to use this for the last 2 rolls. I actually just had 1 roll in the back, and it made it look like it was the top. I went ahead and did this because I had already chose this pink and green to do her flower, and I just had just a smidgen of this green. I didn't even have enough to finish the center. That's how much of the green I had, but it still worked, and you can't really even tell. And then I wanted to give her red hair like Ariel off of Little Mermaid, and so that's what I did. I really like this terracotta color as the hair. And then my friend Beth with Scarlet Garden Crochet, she had used the method where you do the eyelashes first and then you put the eyes in. And so I tried that, and I absolutely love doing that. Y'all, it turned out really cute. I mean, really, really cute on the eyelashes when I did it that way. So I think she is super cute, this little Flower Power Mermaid. Jenn, you did an excellent job on this pattern. I really, really like it. I really like it. She gives her a little bun up here. The hair, the way she does it here, it's just so neat. So I really like it. I like the way the whole entire pattern is worked up. You start with the thins and then you work all the way up, and it's completely no sew except for the flower. You do have to sew that on, but other than that, well, no, the bun is also sewed on. So you sew the bun on and then you sew the flower. But I honestly think she could have made it to where the bun was not sewed on. But anyway, I really, really, really love this pattern. I just gave it some blue eyes. It's the blue sparkly disc eyes. I think these are, I want to say 16 millimeter if I'm not mistaken. And so I didn't have any that were this color here, but I thought the blue ones worked out just fine. And they do look so cute on her. So, and then I had this pattern by Delon with Loren.crochets, and this is her Finlee bear. And like I said, this is Fletcher bear here, but I'm not finished with Fletcher. I still have to sew the muzzle, do the embroidery on the nose. I have to put the eyes in and make the ears, and then Fletcher will be done. But I'm completely finished with Finlee here. So Finlee Bear is just like a little miniature version of an original regular teddy bear. I'm still so saddened about the fact that I never gave my sock hop bear a tail, but she does have a skirt on, and so you couldn't really even see it even if I did give her a tail. So, but anyway, she knows I love adding tails on to everything. So this little bear is just like the original teddy bear, just a miniature version, and I absolutely love this teddy bear. I think these are going to sell fantastic at my coffee house. I think because it's a lot of baby stuff that I sell there. It's in the baby section, and so I do think that they will sell very well there. I'm not so sure about Fletcher Bear, if Fletcher will sell or not. We'll see. Like I said, I am going to try to get the material to do the Winnie the Pooh version and also try to sell it. Now, I do think the Winnie the Pooh version mod would sell if I did one like that. Like I said, I'm out of the red. So Delon, another great pattern. I love all of your patterns. You are just such a wonderful designer. I don't know how you come up with all the patterns that you come up with, but you're on a roll. You're on a roll with making all these great patterns, y'all. And I told y'all last time that I was jealous, that I was so jelly of all of my friends, because it seems like they can just come up with the best patterns just like that. And I just love them. I love them, y'all. I love all these patterns. I love crocheting. I'm just so glad that, because at first, whenever I was really back into crocheting, I was just making stuff with worsted weight, and I would see all of this stuff like this, and I'd be like, there's no way I can make stuff like that. And my husband just kept encouraging me, you can do it, it's probably easier than what you're thinking. And he was so right. I got on YouTube, watched a couple of videos, and I was like, hey, this is easier. This is easier than working with worsted weight yarn, in my opinion, unless you're making an amigurumi from worsted weight yarn. But anyway, if you're making something big out of worsted weight, for instance, like the American flag, or, something else that's going to take a while, you really just, I'm making a blanket. I started making it last year for just to have, for me, it's going to be just like a little lap blanket, but it's in fall colors, and I ran out of some of the colors, and I've got to go to Michael's and get some more of the colors. I just put it up. It's probably about halfway finished, but it's going to be a beautiful fall little lap blanket, and I can use it for an Afghan, or I can just drape it over my couch, or even use it on my table as part of fall decorations. Anyway, whenever you're making something like that, or a wearable, I just try to get it in my head, take as long as you need. You may not have it finished right when you want it, but just take your time with it and get it done right. And hey, it'll work out. I've made several baby blankets. I have made, just different things out of worsted weight. I've started 2 different times on making me a wearable and just completely give up with it. I have one that's probably just 1/4 of the way made. I literally have like this whole part of the sleeve here made, and like part of the back made, and I just completely give up on it, and it's in a bag somewhere. I don't even remember where I put it or what bag that it's in, but I really need to get it out and start working on it, because I really wanted to have it made by this summer. And there's probably no way, even if I started back working on it, that I could have it made by this summer, because I just put it up and said, forget about it. But I think I will try to find it. I'll try to work on it a little bit. And you know what? I might get it made by wintertime. Who knows? But I could have it for next summer. And then I'll be very proud of it, That's how things are sometimes, It seems like the more that I start working on things, the faster that I can crochet on it. I get real bored real easily, and I think that's part of my ADD. I get real bored real easily when I'm working on something for a very long time. But then once I get it finished and I can see the end result of it, I'm like, oh my gosh, this was such a good pattern. This turned out so great. I'm so proud of myself. You know, and we all should be proud of ourselves, you know, whenever we're making something like this. It's handmade. It's handcrafted. We made this. This is our art. This is beautiful. You know, we took a little bit of yarn, something that looked like this, and we can turn it into something fantastic, you know. But anyway, enough of that. Y'all don't want to hear me and my spelling spout. But anyway, so I'm gonna do a white muzzle on this bear. I know y'all probably can't see it, and then I'll give it its little eyes and its ears. I'm fixing to finish that, and then I'm gonna start working on the bee. The other thing that I had to make was this little miniature mouse. Y'all look how darling stinking cute this little mouse is. Oh my gosh, I cannot get over how realistic this mouse looks. So cute. And look, I found my phone. It was sitting underneath all my yarn. That's about right, huh? I like to have my phone so I can look up people's names and stuff, because I can't remember everybody's names right off the top of my head anymore. So let me see here. This Minnie Mouse. It's part of the Market Prep Cow Rayful Creations. So her name is Allyn Ray. And this is her pattern. And like I said, it's part of the Market Prep Cow. So Allyn, you did fantastic on this little miniature mouse. It turned out super great. Super great. I went with the lighter pink. I think this is called tan pink. I could be wrong. Burnette blanket. And then this is Premier Basic Chenille Brights in the color Fog. And then of course these little eyes are, I think they're 10mm, and they have the clear around them, and I just left them clear. And then I went with the little pink nose. Of course I could have embroidered the nose, but I decided to use this. I have a bunch of these, and so whenever I'm making something like this that can use these, I try to remember to use them, because I have a whole box of them, y'all. It just turned out so cute. I really love this cute little mouse. You could put these on a keychain, or you could actually extend the tail and slip stitch it back in and make a car hanger with it, or just like a wrist hanger, you know, for a kid to play with. I think people would like them as a car hanger. Or you could, you know, put it on like a little swing if you wanted to. You know, I think you could put it on a swing. Just have it sitting like this on the swing. I think it would be cute on a swing if you wanted to do that. But yeah, so really cute, great mouse pattern. I love it. It turned out really, really good. Really, really good. And so I will probably be making more of these. I do have my market got rescheduled for September, and it's almost June. Hard to believe it's almost June. Gosh, but I would like to have a few of these made, and maybe even make some in like some darker gray, and maybe even the darker colored pink. I don't know, but I would like to make some and make them into car hangers and see, and then maybe leave some plain like this. I think you could probably get $8 or $10, maybe even $12 if you put it on a car hanger or keychain. You know, if you went with some smaller yarn. I mean, it's not that big, y'all. I have little tiny hands. I have the tiniest hands. Y'all see my hands are really small. I have a small head too. But and I'm not just saying that, I really do. But it's not that big. I mean, it's really not. I wished I had here's my pair of scissors, and y'all see, let's see what else. I'll compare it to my phone. It's little bitty. See how little bitty it is? This is an iPhone, but so cute, so cute. She really outdid herself. Okay, and so the next thing that I wanted to talk about is I have a tester call out for my Balleriana. That's what I'm calling her, Balleriana. Instead of just ballerina, she's Balleriana. Axolotl. Balleriana axolotl. She's a ballerina axolotl. She is no-sew. You crochet this, surface crochet her skirt, but everything is worked in the round, and I surface crocheted her little bow. They're not hard to do. I do wish I would have given her bigger eyes, and I'm probably going to make another one and give her bigger eyes. The only thing that aggravates me is this yarn had something on it from the store. I don't know what that is. If it's something that come off the machine when they were making the yarn, or if it was just dirt from maybe like a box or something, but it's on there and I can't get it off. I'm gonna try again to maybe take some like water and maybe some baking soda and some vinegar and see if I can get that off. But anyway, she has a little tail. Her tail is crocheted in the round, and so you do have to, and I used really thin embroidering to do her laces, but you can use worsted weight yarn for that if you wanted to do that. So she's super cute. She's super fun. I think the little girls will really love this. You can make them in any colors: purple, yellow, blue, orange. You know, I think the kids are loving the axolotls right now. The axolotls seem to be really big because of Minecraft. I think the axolotls are really big. So if you want to test this Balleriana axolotl for me, just go to my Instagram page and I will link that in the description, and I will try to put it up here on the screen too. It's just under Elisa Dawn's Crochet, and look for my post about it and apply. You know, I will probably pick you if you apply, because right now I only have 5 testers that have applied. And so this video will go out. Today is Tuesday the 26th. This video will be live. If you're watching this, it's the 29th on Friday. And so you have plenty of time to apply for my test, because I have extended it out to give people more time because of all of the cows, the crochet alongs that everybody's involved in. So the timeline is gonna be, I'll choose testers by June the 5th. June the 5th. So if you want to apply to try to make my Balleriana, go apply. Go apply to test for me. She's super cute. Super cute, y'all. Super cute. And so I am working still on getting my pattern into Canva. I am finishing up some things on there, making it look really nice and neat. And everybody, you know, should be through testing the majority of the tests for the cows that we're in. And so hopefully that will open up some more people to be able to help test. That's, you know, in my group, or even if you're not in my group, you know, if you want to apply, go apply. I have some more patterns that I have made in the past, and you know, I have talked about this in some more of my other videos, wondering if I should, you know, do a tester call. And I did do a tester call for my watermelon vine turtle, and that turned out beautiful. I do want to make another one for myself. I have yet to do that. I have not had time. And so one of my other patterns that I did is the turtle, and I also did a turtle with the lily pad and flower, and I do want to make that again and write that pattern down. I have the pattern of turtle wrote down, just not the lily pad and flower, but I'm pretty sure that I can kind of remember in my brain how I did it. And so I'm going to try to do that and write it down. Another pattern that I did and I never got it tested or released is my pirate turtle. I want to work on that pirate turtle and try to get it out before October. I think that would be really, really great for, you know, a fall make, October make, around Halloween. I also have my newborn sleeper pals that I've had for a little over a year now. I'm probably gonna, you know, work that in somewhere to get it tested. I also have my sunflower turtle that I come out with about the same time as I did my watermelon vine turtle. I had one person to test my sunflower. I actually redid that pattern and made it more friendlier, I guess you would say. It's a little bit different. So I am going to be calling for testers on my sunflower turtle after the Valeriana is done. The sunflower turtle will be next. And I'm also working on a mod for it for a chrysanthemum turtle. The other thing that I have been working on is you know, I want to get some more material because I had made the Finlee rattle, the Finlee baby rattle in memory of my granddaughter that passed. I want to redo them and get those tested and get those out there. And then I'm also working on a new pattern for a 70s groovy bunny. 70s groovy bunny. And hopefully before next Easter I will have it out. And then the other pattern that I always do that I never released was a MSU dog. And it's, you know, there's a lot of people that are MSU Bulldog fans, Mississippi State Bulldogs. And so I'm going to try to be working on possibly getting that out. And then I have a few other patterns in my head that I've really wanted to work on doing. I just got to have enough time to sit down, you know, on pen and paper and do these and get them out and get them tested. And so I have kind of taken a step back a little bit from doing a whole bunch of designs. I was part of a designers group and I stepped out of that because I just felt like I had too much on my plate. I was very stressed over it. I was having a lot of anxiety over it. And I told them that I might come back to the group in the future. But as of right now, I just felt like I had so much going on that I felt like I couldn't breathe. And it was almost like it wasn't fun for me anymore. And I want crochet to be fun for me because to me, crochet is an outlet. Since being diagnosed with POTS, not really able to get out of my house very much, crochet has become one of the few things, one of just about the only thing that brings me a whole lot of joy. You know, not working a regular job. I had to give up my nursing career, and I still hold a license in nursing, and I don't know if I'll ever be able to go back to work as a nurse just because with all the symptoms and stuff with the POTS and everything, I had to apply for my disability. I don't know if I'll get approved for my disability or not. I have put it all completely in the Lord's hands. So I haven't really did a whole lot of stuff with my crochet simply because I'm just really not able to do a whole lot of stuff with my crochet. I'm doing the best that I can do, and I'm just trying to do the best that I can do with it. So that's all I have for now. I'll try to come back on here and show y'all the finished product of the Fletcher the bear and the bee, and we'll talk later. Hey y'all, it's me again, and I just wanted to get back on here and show y'all the finished product of the Fletcher bear, the Finlee and Fletcher bear. Of course, y'all seen the finished product of the Finlee bear, and this is the Fletcher bear all finished. This pattern again is by Delon with Loren.crochets. Isn't it just so cute? So after seeing it completed, I do think this would probably sell too at the coffee house. I don't know what I was thinking, because everybody loves bears. Everybody loves bears, and who don't like a bear in a t-shirt? So I do believe that they will both do really good at the coffee house, and I'm probably going to go the beginning of June to change all. I always go at least once a month and change all of my inventory out. I take out all the old that didn't sell and try to put brand new inventory in just to keep things fresh and interesting down there. So these are them, and then let me show y'all these bees that I made. So I'm not completely finished with the bees. I got one wing on, and I still have another wing that I have to make and put it on as well, and then tie them together. But this is just the regular mini bee. This again is by Delon with Loren.crochets. This is going to be a free pattern as part of that market prep cowl that I'm also designing in, that I mentioned at the beginning of this video. And so this is her free mini the bee pattern that she will release ahead of the cowl. So y'all be looking for that. I also made this blue colored bee here, and then I made this, I don't really know, it's just a brown bee with some maroon and green in it, because I was just trying to use up some yarn out of my yarn stash that I have remnants left over. And so I had just a tiny bit of this. I think this is the I don't think it's the steel cut oats. I actually think this one is, I can't remember the name of the other one. But anyway, yeah. I had a little bit of the green, a little bit of this maroon left, and I wanted to use it up. Like I said, it was just some stashed yarn that I had, and then this was that bubbly blue, and then I had just enough of this darker colored blue to do the stripes on this blue colored bee, and I'm completely out of both of them now, so I got to use up, you know, both of that was in some of my yarn stash. And so I'm hoping they'll sell. I know everybody loves bees. Again, these are mini bees. You could also put these on a swing or a car hanger, or you could also put them on a keychain. Again, y'all hear my dogs barking. I'm in the living room trying the video, and of course they think it's playtime. It's time to get in the window and bark. When I come to the living room to do anything, they think it's playtime. It's time to bark. They're a mess. Let me show you. Let me show y'all. What are y'all doing? Are y'all barking at somebody? Who y'all barking at? So my neighbor across the street, they had a tree that got struck by lightning several years ago, and it split it in half. It was a huge pecan tree. And so they left the other half up, and I think it was kind of getting rotting. And so they decided today that they would cut the tree down. And so probably about an hour ago, they cut the tree down, and then they were out there cutting it up. And so now I think they're out there just kind of stacking the wood or whatever. If y'all see all of this right here, that says Made in China, that big box that says Fragile, that is a big giant metal shelf that my husband bought me. He bought it for me several weeks ago. We're going to be putting that shelf together, putting it in the back room to put some of my crochet stuff on, and to put all of my canning supplies on, and just different things that's in our back room where our freezer is at, to try to get my stuff up out of the. And then this wood here, they finally got some more of this wood in where we originally bought our flooring at here, and so we have the rest of our floor over here. Okay, y'all, so that's going to be it for this week's video. I hope y'all enjoyed this video and all of my makes this week, all of my tests. Please like this video. Feel free to leave me a comment. If you watched the video all the way to the end, leave me a doggy emoji. That seems to be my favorite, the doggy emoji. I love the dogs. Anyway, feel free to share this video with all of your friends. If you're not subscribed, please consider subscribing and helping me support my channel. And I will see y'all next week. Y'all have a good one. Bye.